welcome back to another video of DDRP. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Bryson.
In our last video, we worked on removing all the trim and the lights and the bumpers and all that kind of stuff.
In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the vent window assembly removal along with the front window and regulator setup. We hope you enjoy it. And as always,
don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
So really close to taking the dart in to get painted now. There's just a couple of things that remain, including this driver's side remote mirror. In order to remove this mirror, I had to get inside the door. And maybe you can see it. There is a bolt right in there where I had to take a 7/16, basically reach inside and loosen that bolt to get it out. But even to be able to get to that bolt, I had to remove basically the entire window assembly. And so let's go take a look at that now. Which, by the way, I think is a good thing that I did so anyway. But here's the driver's side window assembly. Now this was very difficult to figure out. There's nothing on YouTube, nothing online that I saw on how to remove it. Fortunately, I do have a repair manual that I got off of Amazon. This is the Dodge Dart Coronet Charger repair manual, Dodge service repair manual. It's a reprint, and they do have diagrams of the assembly. So it was really these two diagrams down here that I was able to look at and read some of the instructions in order how to remove it. But even that manual didn't have everything. It was a little bit of troubleshooting, figuring out on my own. So I'll quickly walk through how I was able to remove this window assembly. So first is for this vent window assembly shaft right here, there's a mounting bracket right here. So from the inside of the door, I had to unscrew this, remove the plate, and then I had to loosen this bolt to remove the bracket, so then it's freestanding. Then there's this adjuster bolt right here. Removed this. And then on the outside of the door, on the front side, there's these two adjuster bolts as well. So remove those. Okay. I didn't realize this until much later on, but there's this plate that's covering up over there. Let's see if I can zoom in real quick. Maybe you can see that there's two holes right up there at the top. This plate covered those two holes. So I didn't realize it, but those two holes were covering these two bolts to the window frame assembly, which had to be removed in order for the vent assembly to come out. So I had to remove those. Before I did that though, I removed this back channel right here. Okay. So that was on the outside of the door frame, removing this bolt and these two bolts. And with the window glass mostly up, I slid this out like that. Then for the regulator here. So on the back side of this regulator, this part right here, there's a little tiny clip. Let's see if I can pull it off right here. So I had to remove this little tiny clip from the regulator here. And then these three bolts came out. And then by doing that, I basically slid the entire regulator assembly out from the door, or from the window, and then took it out of the door. And then I also had to remove, this is a top bump stop for the window regulator. So once it hits a certain spot, it won't go any further, right? So that had to come out. And then I slid the entire glass out. With the glass out, the back channel off, the regulator out, all that was left was the vent assembly. Once I figured out I needed to remove these 2 bolts, then the whole thing, I basically tilted it back at a 45-degree angle and then pulled it out of the door. So that is how I did it. So, oh, and one other thing, a good reason to do this is maybe you can see the felt where the window goes up and down is pretty shot, along with this rubber. It's all cracked and brittle on the door, or sorry, the window. And then as well, this entire channel on the vent frame assembly that bumps up against the glass. I'm gonna have to replace all that so that there's no water leakage. Fortunately, this gasket right here around the window, the vent window, seems to be in pretty good shape. So I'm not too worried about that. We'll just clean it up and put some armor all on it, make it look nice and black. But that was another reason to take the vent window assembly apart to replace that weather stripping. Now I'm gonna watch Dakota do it on the passenger side. So what we found by looking in here, bottom line is it's not in this window channel right here. It's like on the outside of it. So in order for us to get this window out and get the regulator out, we're gonna have to loosen this vent frame assembly up here first. And that way hopefully pop the window back in. So that's what Dakota's gonna work on now.
both out.
Alright, let's see if we can just now.
We're still caught on this. You know, bring it back.
Oh, we've got this adjusting nut right here that needs to come off. Yep, that's the last piece that's holding that one in place. Here it goes. It's in the channel.
Okay.
All right.
And now.
Yay! And now you should be able to roll that window up enough
To get
to
that.
loosen that other bolt. You gotta show the camera. So that's the entire vent frame assembly.
This thing's pretty hefty.
Yeah, so we're gonna need to, one of the main reasons we are removing this is because this inner channel right here, the weather stripping in here is all falling apart. It's gotta be replaced so that moisture doesn't get in the car.
All right.
In our next video, we hope you'll join us as we remove the rear window regulator in Windows. Thanks for watching.